Yes, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Weekly podcast, yes. My name is Broken Josh Burrell, and tonight, me and my brothers, Brother Nation and Brother Reapers, we will become the podcast of gold. Delete, 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 delete.
Welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly number 30, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Steve, also known as Steve the Reaper. Follow me on Twitter, which will be in the description down below. Let's get right into this podcast episode. Apologize for any background noise. That's my favorite tagline now. It's really fitting right now, actually. Anyways, we're here, Pro Wrestling Weekly number 30. 30 episodes. Let's get it. I'm here with the Pro Wrestling Weekly Wolfpack. First, Haydn Fox.
It's good to be back as always. 30 episodes, that's wild. That means I've been on for 25. Jesus.
Yes, sir. Oh my god, you have. Jeez. Alrighty. And then we have the king, the real king, Josh Morrell.
I thought that tagline died, but hey, hi, I'm here. I haven't been as long for the 30, but I try to be here.
Legends never die, Josh. They only get bigger.
I guess.
Roddy Piper. Rest in peace. Anyway, so kind of a lackluster, I don't want to say lackluster, but there's not a whole lot of things of excitement that occurred this week in the world of pro wrestling.
We've just had Mania, really, so it's basically the drought until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So all the pay-per-views except SmackDown are going to be dog shot, and then which is basically every Raw pay-per-view is going to be dog shot now. So you just got it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be bollocks.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's going to be bollocks.
Sad few weeks or months of wrestling. I'm going to just keep on watching NXT to keep my senses alive, or maybe watch some past pay-per-views. You never know. Anyway.
And past NXT episodes.
Yes, exactly. So, first off, what I have down, because everybody's talking about it, David Otunga is going to be gone for 6 weeks from the Raw commentary.
Thank the Lord.
Praise be to the fucking gods wherever they are, and if they're even real. Thank God.
From the Raw commentary team as a part of the Superstar shakeup. His replacement is Booker T, which, hey,
Boo.
I can dig that sucker.
I can't. Fuck him.
I mean, look on the bright side. It could have been worse. Look.
Could have been Mara Ronaldo. Could have been JR though. That's what I.
Hey, look on the other side though, and you could have had JR come in. You could have had Mauro Ranallo return.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 50 for me. I like it, but I don't.
I just full hate it, to be honest. Booker T was never good, and I don't know why they just suck his arse all the time. Is it because he's got apparently a high-rated syndicated radio show? Heated conversation? I've just given him a plug of an eye. Oh, fuck. But, no, it's just because he wants to run for mayor whenever, and he wants to, and he's got this radio show that he can promote on the network pre-shows. That's it. That's all he's there for. He has no rhyme or reason to even be there. He didn't have he had a great-ish career in WWE, but his WCW stuff is the only reason I knew him back in the day. So, because I used to turn my television off when Booker T came on in my estimation. So, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan of Booker T at all. So, that's why I'm kind of off of it.
Well, anybody at this point is better than David Otunga. I cannot stand David Otunga on commentary. He says the most stupidest and not well thought out things on commentary. It makes me cringe every time he says something remotely dumb. So, hey, I'll take it. I mean, to be honest, isn't he a lawyer for the WWE?
No.
I thought somebody said that was like, nah, well, don't believe everything that you...
No, he graduated from Harvard Law School. It doesn't mean he's actually a real lawyer for WWE.
Okay, they're just, okay.
He was just John Laurinaitis' lap boy.
Oh, yeah, that whole entire storyline. Keeping the kayfabe. Yeah, okay, well, in that case, he should just not be in the WWE anymore. That's just me.
Well, his wife is more famous than him.
Yeah,
and she's even saying to him, get out of it now, get out of it. And he's like, no, it's earning me money. Because I think he has a secret jealousy of her, because she makes more money than him, and she doesn't have to do much, really, because she hasn't really released anything notable in regards to music in a long time. So, in my opinion, she's earned more money from doing not really much audio, like CDs and stuff, but he's doing everything in WWE, and he's earning nothing, basically, compared to her. So, that's why he still wants to keep his job with WWE.
Well, that's a sad way to live out a relationship, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, it may not be true, but that's how I feel when I look at it. You know, when people have said that his wife, Jennifer Hudson, I think it's still his wife. I don't know if they've got a divorce yet, but yeah, I don't know. So,
well,
yeah.
Even if that is true, it's a really unfortunate way to live out your relationship. You're trying to stay relevant because your wife's more famous than you. That's really sad. Really sad.
Yeah.
Let's get off of David Otunga.
He's not worth talking about.
Yep, too much airtime. So, the Superstar Shakeup was this past week. Not much of excitement other than the Intercontinental Championship is on Raw. The United States Championship is on SmackDown. The Miz and Maurice are on Raw. Sami Zayn's on SmackDown. Am I missing...
Bad bloody time.
Yeah. Am I missing anything notable?
Kevin, you said United States Championship.
Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are on Raw. Charlotte's on SmackDown now.
Why have Sasha Banks at SmackDown when she's not going to even appear? Like, seriously.
Is she on SmackDown now?
No.
Oh, okay.
But she was in Boston at the SmackDown arena, sitting back there. I think she was told she was going to go move to SmackDown, but they decided Charlotte at the last minute. Huh. If I'm right, but I'd rather Sasha than Charlotte, to be honest.
Why do you say that? That's a very interesting statement.
Because I don't want to see Sasha and Bayley do it on the main roster, because I feel it's going to be a cheap version of what they did in NXT.
Okay, that's fair. I can accept that. To be honest, I just want the SmackDown Women's Championship off of Naomi, because that feel-good moment, it's gone. It's
not about us, it's about those young fans, and it's still in them apparently, so...
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen that belt for any time soon, until the next pay-per-view, I don't think.
Yeah. I think Charlotte can make a good SmackDown Women's Championship. As much as I've dogged on her on the past, in past podcasts, she's really great at what she does. Yeah. So I'm not going to discredit that at all. So
no, she's a great addition to SmackDown, and it gives a new lease on the women's division there, because it's been crap ever since. And unfortunately for Alexa Bliss, even if she was there, it didn't work out for her. The division was bad, in my opinion, compared to Raw's Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and then we had the undercard women. You know, it was just more fleshed out rather than a SmackDown's boring. All of them were main eventers, which some of them weren't, to be honest. You know? So,
that's what I was about to say on.
Go on.
That's what I was about to say on the SmackDown one. They seemed to put them all in a match on a pay-per-view, more or less every single time. Whereas with at Mania, they did the Fatal 4-Way. The time before, they've done Charlotte Sasha, they've done Bayley Charlotte. You know, at least that was a bit more varied than having every woman in the roster put together every time.
But also, aren't Alexa and Sasha not on good terms as well?
That's the.
I've heard that.
No, apparently they've had some this has been stemmed since NXT. Apparently Sasha, I don't know. It's been a back and forth with them for years.
Wait,
so
didn't somebody call Alexa Bliss like a ring rat or something like that?
I don't think that was Sasha's doing, but I think she might have had any. I don't want to say anything incriminating because it could be false, but I don't think she was involved with it. But alleged things could come out that she might have done, but I don't know, and I don't care to comment on that at the moment.
Fair enough. Speaking of women's wrestlers, Lana got shaken up separately from Rusev, and it appears she's gonna wrestle now.
I think it's until Rusev comes back, and then it'd be the same old shit again. It'd be like an Emelina sort of thing, but they'll actually drag it out for longer.
I honestly hope that's not the case, because when she debuted at WrestleMania 32, her in-ring debut, I should say, she was alright. She wasn't the best, but she was alright.
She hasn't wrestled since then.
Well, she's been wrestling at NXT live events. Now, granted...
Yeah, but it doesn't count if it's not on TV.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, we don't know how much she's improved, if at all. But...
Well, I hope she can wrestle, because she'll be an asset to the SmackDown Women's division. Because they need more bodies. To have compelling matches. Because SmackDown creates good, compelling storylines for the men. They somewhat do with the women, but they're all interchangeable. It's like this one and this one have a match, and it's just a boring old feud because there's no rivalry to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like the SmackDown Raw, but has pay-per-view both in 1 month. I don't think they do this month, but with last year they had 2 pay-per-views in 1 month. It should be like the old brand split where Raw has a pay-per-view 1 month, SmackDown has a pay-per-view for another month, so that allows both brands to build proper feuds for both the men and the women of both shows.
I think that's what they're doing this year, because I know Payback is on the 30th of April, and then SmackDown's pay-per-view is on May the 20th, rings a bell.
Good. I'm glad. If that is the case, then good, because that'll build better storylines for both the men and women of both shows, and it'll allow Raw writers to actually get a grip and do something right.
Fair enough.
You know, but we'll have to wait and see.
For sure. So, in NXT related news, okay, I gotta say, alright, before I get into the main stuff I want to talk about with NXT, this is kind of impromptu. Actually, you know what? Hold on, no. Because we're still talking about the main roster. Josh, you mentioned you had a rant about the cruiserweights. I'm going to give you the floor.
It's not going to be long because I don't want to drag it out, but why do they only give 2 people a feud that's interesting and then leave the other ones to suffer? Because look at people like Noam Dar, one of our boys in this sort of thing, you know, and he's been left to shit. He was so good in ICW and WCPW for how long he was there. Probably not that long, because he was there when he started and left near the end of the year. But it's just I can't seem to see why they only give 2 people a feud and then just the rest are there to rot, basically. No, I don't. Even though TJ Perkins has turned heel, I don't feel like he's a threat to the title, because he'll eventually turn back face and then face him for the title, face Neville for the title, or even Austin Aries when he's heel. But I just can't see. I can't invest in anyone else other than Neville, to be honest, and Austin Aries. And it just annoys me the fact that that's the case. So I want to get invested in Mustafa Ali or Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, who is out on injury at the minute, I think. So it just annoys me the fact that that's the case. But
got a point.
But I hope when they take the UK stuff in wherever, Norwich, that maybe some of the UK guys can interact with the cruiserweights, like wrestle them both, like both divisions cross over, because that could lead into some good matches and showcase them for what they truly are, good ring technicians, and some of them can actually cut a promo.
Right.
That's what it's all lying on, it's just cutting a promo. It's the problem with these. If they can't cut a promo, teach them at the Performance Centre. What's it fucking for? You know?
I'm going to cut you off right there real quick, just to interject the question. Whatever happened to the separate UK show that, you know, that was supposed to stem from the UK tournament? Because, like...
Well, it's happening. They're taping it in next month.
Oh, okay, so it's still happening. Good.
Yeah, it's still happening, yeah, they're taping.
Okay.
No, they sold tickets and they sold out within 15-20 minutes.
Oh, okay, then fair enough. So
Yeah.
it's doing good. Okay.
And but the only point of contention here is the fact that it's taping the same place as Page's Tag Promotion. Is tapes their shows, and Page's dad had some not nice things to say about, obviously not explicit because it was on BBC Radio, but he just blew into the company. Like, you wouldn't, like, that is just something I would find embarrassing if I was doing that towards Vince. You know, I would welcome it, considering his daughter is at the moment employed by the company who is hosting that event in your arena, or not your arena, but the arena you hosting. You know, it's just a bit hazy at the minute. But yeah, that they are taping the UK show.
Okay.
Whether it probably air in the summer, maybe, or it might air straight away. I don't know. They all originally touted it was going to be live, but I've been hearing some things that apparently they're going to tape instead of being live. So, not too sure.
Fair enough. I'm glad that you cleared that up. So, it is disappointing to see that there's like maybe 2 or 3 cruiserweights being used, and then the others are kind of left hung out to dry. Like, I haven't seen Brian Kendrick in ages. Where is he at? Like, that's
he's teaching Akira Tozawa lessons like a school teacher.
Wait, is that for real?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Lesson number blah blah blah. Don't. He stole his Japanese passport, whatever, held it up and says, "Always lock your bags, or always zip your bags, because someone else could steal your passport." And then he just walked away with the passport. You know, that's theft. While you're teaching lessons, you're actually committing a crime by stealing someone's passport. Oh wait, that reminds me of someone else about stealing passports. Yeah.
Let's not get
That
into
rings a
that,
bell.
Josh. We covered that last week. There's nothing new to
Yeah,
that.
but hashtag fire JBL. I wanted to get that in one time. That's probably going to be one of my main taglines now.
No, Jesus.
Fuck it, I've already blocked him. He can't block me, the arsehole.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, you
I
like
blocked
that
him.
part.
He doesn't deserve to block me. Fuck him. And
He blocked me, but I'm actually glad he did.
no, I didn't give him the satisfaction. Fuck him. Hashtag fuck JBL.
I've been thinking about sending a tweet to him, asking him if he's watched 13 Reasons Why, and you know, I don't think that tweet would go out very well, simply because of the contents of said episode stuff. But hey, you know, it is.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to your NXT stuff that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, so NXT. I want to say first, NXT TakeOver Orlando, because I rewatched most of the matches, or I watched most of the matches. I didn't really watch it live, but I gotta say, for me not watching NXT for a long while, that was a solid pay-per-view or a network special, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
Match of the night, in my opinion, were the tag belts. That was
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I don't
Definitely
like,
agree.
God, the crowd was on fire for that match. Everybody was well, I should say the Revival and DIY was doing so good, but Authors of Pain, you know, they were doing their part too. So that was a fantastic match.
Actually, you've just reminded me, but for that section it was chanted, their names and everyone else chanting "Shut the fuck up." And Aleister Black's match. Shame on you, that section. Fuck you, that section, whoever you are. Cheering yourselves, putting yourselves over. Fuck that. You can tell that some of them are Full Sail. You can tell.
I was gonna say, at least it's not the Full Sail crowd.
Some of them were. I know that guy that takes all the photos in NXT events early, like that DSLR, I think covers for Wrestling Observer. That's the only guy I like from Full Sail. The rest of them don't do one.
Gotcha.
All I care. Because the guy that I just mentioned actually goes to other indie shows. That I can tell. Goes to Evolve when it's there. He goes to the WWN shows and goes to all the WWE events in town, even WrestleMania and stuff when they're in Orlando. He's not just a fan that just goes to NXT. Just expects to get themselves over. I don't want to get into the Full Sail crowd again because otherwise, it'd just be so long. But yeah, that crowd in NXT Orlando, shame on you, because Aleister Black, after the pin, looked pissed off. Oh, he looked like he wanted to punch every single one of them that did that. He basically ruined that match, to be honest, for me anyway.
We'll get into Aleister Black in just a second. He's a key wrestler in my sights right now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Hear me out. Don't worry.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Before we cover him, though, Drew McIntyre returned in ring in NXT without the Broken Dreams entrance theme.
It doesn't fit his gimmick. It just doesn't. I'm glad they've changed it, but I would have preferred a better theme, to be honest. I wish they did better.
All it is bagpipes. That's kind of...
Yeah, but Vince is... I know it's Triple H's sort of baby, but that was Vince's side. Vince has to still approve the songs, because he basically uses the songs for the... what's it called? The main show when they go up, because obviously they used Nakamura's song when he came up, Ty Dillinger's theme song. They have to fit them because he will use them for that, because WWE owns a song. They don't own Broken Dreams. That's why they didn't use it. Point blank. Because it was done by a I can't remember the band name. Yeah, something like that. So, as they want to own everything, including belt designs, songs, merchandise names, except for a few people with names, logos, except for AJ Styles, and so on and so forth. So that's why they've changed it, so they can own the song.
Fair enough. It's just a little disappointing, but hey, great to see Drew McIntyre back in the WWE ring. That means that all members of 3MB are back. You know what that means.
No, I hope he stays in NXT.
3-man band, baby!
No, I hope that one of them...
God, not again.
Except for Drew McIntyre, I hope one of them gets released, or both of them before then. Before that even happens. Or they just not get together. I don't want anyone to be released. What am I saying? Except JBL. So, no, I don't want that to happen. I think Drew McIntyre will stay in NXT for a long time because he will be the cornerstone after Bobby Roode's gone. You know?
So, you see Drew McIntyre being NXT champion.
Oh, definitely, yes.
I think they would be dumb not to make him champion.
Because he was never a world champion in any part of WWE. He was only IC champion and that horrible looking copper tag belts.
That's right.
So, but no, I'm glad to see Drew back. I would wish he was Galloway, but obviously they have to own the name. Mm-hmm. So it's Drew McIntyre. But I'm glad to see Drew back in for Drew to be in any ring, and also him being able to fulfill his indie promotion deals as well. Because they've said they're going to let him drop the WCPW Championship, which hopefully I'll be watching that. So, yeah, I can't wait, to be honest.
Can't wait either. So, sticking with the NXT theme, This was a thought that initially went through my head this morning, but after seeing Aleister Black in the ring in NXT take over Orlando, I was like, okay, he's good. I don't have to worry about it. But my initial thought, and I'm going to ask you guys, and for those of you that are listening on YouTube, you can leave a comment or tag us on Twitter. The links will be in the description down below if you want to give your own thoughts. Is Aleister Black going to be over simply because of his music? Is the Bobby Roode effect going to take place here? Because his entrance theme is amazing.
I'll let Haydn go first on this one.
Alright, go ahead.
Yes and no.
Explain yourself.
Now, with Roode, I am. So, with Bobby Roode, we all know his theme song is glorious, no pun intended. But, in the semis, he's got some good skills in the ring. It's the same with Aleister Black. His team is absolutely... This world fucking love him. But he's also very, very good inside that ring. So, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Yes and no.
What about you, Josh?
But before I go on, is NXT starting to become like an 80s rock thing or something? Because Aleister Black is very 80s, you know, bagpipes, very, you know, olden times, you know. Like the deep guitar riffs. That's just... When I watched, obviously, the NXT episode on Thursday, or whenever it... Well, yeah, it was Thursday for the UK, but... I just realised that. But on to Aleister Black... Or, as I'm going to call him because I'm too stubborn, Tommy End. Yes, completely, because as his theme song's so good, and to me, his NXT moveset is very bland so far. Until the next, I will judge fully. I'll say yes and no now, but I'll judge fully at the next takeover.
At the end of the day, though, we haven't really seen much of Aleister Black or Tommy End, you know, however you want to call him, inside the ring in NXT.
Last time I saw him in the WWE ring was the UK tournament, the surprise match with Neville and Tommy End, who was called Tommy End at that show.
Exactly.
Which was weird because he was just named Aleister Black a couple of days before that.
But yeah, like, we haven't seen much of him inside an NXT ring, so...
I guess.
But judging by what he did in the Tommy End type thing, he was fantastic.
Oh yeah, he was. He was one of the proponents for the UK scene getting big. He was. Even though I don't know whether he is actually... Well, I know he was from Amsterdam, but was his primary residence for coming to WWE Scotland, or... I don't know, because he did a lot of ICW shows near the end of his independent run, but I don't know. But no, I am looking forward to see what Aleister Black or / Tommy End is going to do in an NXT ring. I'm looking forward to it. And I can see him also becoming an NXT champion as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked his match with Andre Cien Almas. I thought those two oddly had good chemistry. That's not something that you would think. I digress, though. I was proved wrong.
Just let me throw something in here.
Sure.
There has been a massive debate I've had it with a load of people. What are your guys' thoughts on Andre Cien Almas?
It's sad to see him where he is now, because he had a lot of steam coming in from, he's taking the mask off, La Sombra's taking the mask off, you know, but now, but first he was putting suspenders and fucking shitty clothing, and now he's a heel that's floundering. Like, you know, there was rumours that he wanted to leave. I don't know how true that was, but from Alberto El Patron, but I don't really like it's hard. So I've seen stuff as him as La Sombra in New Japan or wherever he wrestled in Japan, but he probably was New Japan. But you know, sad to see him become like this. You know, because Ty Dillinger obviously wasn't over at the beginning, but I started to like him before anyone else, and it's now great to see him at this height, and to like someone like Andre Cien Almas was before La Sombra to where he is now. It's very sad, to be honest. It's like where have you gone, you know? But it's completely subjective towards people, but that's my opinion.
He's good in the ring. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen him on regular NXT shows, so I can't really make a fair judgment from. But from what I've seen from his match against who was his first match with on NXT Takeover?
I don't know. I will look that up while you talk.
It was either like Bobby Roode or I think it might have been Bobby Roode actually. But from what I've seen from his Takeover matches, he can definitely get the job done when he is needed at his best. I'm not gonna discredit him at all. To me, he's just a wrestler that's wearing a fedora. He doesn't strike me as the type of guy. He strikes me as the type of guy to join Primo and Epico. Honestly, I think he would fit in the Shining Stars just because of his gimmick. Other than that, I don't think, like, if he was to ever get called to the main roster, I don't know if he would last that long.
Yeah. His first match on TakeOver was against Ty Dillinger and he beat him.
Okay. So, in that match, you know, he looked good. Against Aleister Black, he looked good. Just, I don't know, longevity-wise, if... I don't see him as a champion. Like, a main card champion. Maybe United States title.
He stinks of United States champion.
Yeah.
Or a belt like that. He stinks of that. If he ever was to become a champion on the main roster.
So, I mean, good talent. He can go when he needs to go, but other than that, you know, he is a good wrestler that makes me feel like he's more of an enhancement talent.
Yeah.
That was probably really, really rough of me to say. So, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I doubt you're listening, but you know
no one from WWE listen.
You know, we tend to have a no-holds-barred mentality when it comes to stuff like this, so...
If we were PG, we'd have more chance of WWE listening, but no. I don't want to become a kid's show just for WWE to take notice.
Fair enough, we're not sellouts.
No, exactly.
So, we're going to go into the questions section. There's only been one question. I tweeted out, well... the Pro Wrestling Weekly Wolfpack Twitter account tweeted this out. I didn't.
Yeah, keep kayfabe, sir.
I know. I'm sorry. I just broke kayfabe there. God, I hate it. Anyway, so we had tweeted out that we would start taking questions for every episode of Pro Wrestling Weekly if people had questions. I actually took a question that was asked for my own personal podcast. I'm going to incorporate it into here, because my personal one isn't really wrestling related. But the question was, from at Lesnar Support, who should Brock Lesnar, the current Universal Champion, face at SummerSlam?
We know the obvious one, but if we set it in a dream scenario, I would like it to be Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Raw roster here, if it was an inter-promotional match where both of them were champion, it would consolidate into one belt, which is my dream, because I want to get rid of that red piece of shit. But if it was again that situation, I would like to be WWE champion Shinsuke Nakamura versus Universal champion Brock Lesnar.
Exactly my thoughts.
Decision, what they're probably going to go with is Roman Reigns.
What about you, Haydn?
I agree with it. I agree with the first two. On Raw, it'd have to be Samoa Joe. If interpromotional, WWE champion Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm.
But something's telling me Finn Balor.
I would love to see that too. That is a dream scenario for me. If that happened, like, I'd be tempted to almost buy it on pay-per-view here and then just not watch it, but just, you know, just because I like that match. In fact, I'd just buy it on Sky Box Office just for the lols. But no, I wouldn't do that because that's stupid. But, you know, if that actually happened, I would be happy. You know.
Just tell me.
And June is the time where I have to renew my WWE Network subscription anyway, because there's 2-3 month cards run out in June, so they've got to sell me that match hard in that time, you know.
Something just tell me they're going to go with Finn Balor.
I hope they do.
Yeah. I think I like the idea of Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Nakamura. I think Braun Strowman in due time, he's going to be in the title picture at some point.
Oh yeah.
Most obvious, it's going to be Reigns.
Boo!
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. It's going to happen at some point.
Yep.
But
Yep. Ooh-ah! Wanking the arm. Fist punting to the floor. Spear, 1, 2, 3, that's it. That's all that's going to happen. Brock is not going to get one move in. They're going to have a WrestleMania rematch where Roman retains the belt. I swear. And we're all going to boo him out of the WrestleMania building, the people who are going to be there.
just like this year.
It'll be even worse, because I'm going to boo so loud, my voice is going to be completely shot for weeks.
So, you guys mentioned Shinsuke Nakamura as WWE Champion. Now, I've listened to wrestling podcasts, and some people have said, well, it's kind of too early for Nakamura to get right into the main title picture.
Too late.
My God.
Too late. I want it now. I don't want him to feud with The Miz, or... Oh no, he's not feuding with The Miz anymore. It was Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. Who wants to see that? Not me.
I mean,
And I'm going to SmackDown in a few weeks. I don't want to see that.
I see their point in the sense that he just got called up, but at the same token, he's a good talent, and he's in his late 30s, and if you don't pull the trigger on him very soon, and not, like, keep the buzz around him, people may lose interest. And I hate saying that, because it's Nakamura, but...
By the way, nitpick for a minute.
Sure.
You know, did you notice the Titantron for this week's SmackDown?
No. Well,
they changed his font on the fucking thing to
Yes,
make it look more
did.
Japanese.
Yes,
To
they
make
did.
it look more
I saw that.
Japanese and more stereotypical. The normal Shinsuke Nakamura font that came up on the week before the SmackDown after Mania was good. You knew it was it's red, it's fearful. Now it's just fucking Japanese and yellow, and it goes about everywhere, and it looks like he's going to come out to dun 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 like that, you know?
oh no. Don't give Vince any ideas, Josh.
Yeah, but choppy oh, pee.
No, okay, simply because of that, I hope they do something like that.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Hold up! Let me finish the thought! Fuck you! Shut the fuck up! Fuck you! Shut up!
No, you should be banished from the world of professional wrestling for saying that.
No.
I'm gonna admit, yes.
Oh.
Do it with, like,
Only
Ziggler or
because you
something.
want
That'd be
attitude ever like the
hilarious.
stuff. Well, it's the PG era now. You're never going to get anything like that, unfortunately.
They make so many sex references in the PG era, it's not even funny. They literally, at WrestleMania, that Green Light song by Pitbull and Flo Rida and Lunch Money, Lewis and all them, they mentioned to marijuana. You mean to tell me that we're still in the PG era? Man, I don't think so. I want them to say choppy or pee-pee. That would be hilarious.
Well, unfortunately, until that PG thing at the start goes away and says TV-14, you ain't getting none of the action, because that's little references. We're talking about choppy or PP. That is a indefinite, like, effective full-on sexual reference to a bodily part, and that falls under TV-14. So you're never going to get that now. Never.
I mean,
never.
It could be on a pay-per-view backstage area thing on the network.
No. Maybe on the network, but not on Raw.
I hope it's on the
Definitely
network now. Oh my god, that'd be so great.
The only place for a TV-14 product that's got the new WWE logo on it, that doesn't say WWF or doesn't have the WWE scratch logo, is on the network. You're not going to get a TV-14 product on TV again from USA Network, at least. The only way they can go back to TV-14 on Raw and SmackDown is they move Raw and SmackDown live to the network, and that's never going to happen. Never. Because the TV deals earn them too much money. So, and all they care about is that sweet money. So, unfortunately,
this is one thing that is always on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Can't they do the network alongside the TV deals, or at least upload the Raw and SmackDown the day after instead of 30 days?
Unfortunately, your answer to that is no, because the TV providers want complete control over it, because they can put it on their on-demand, on USA's on-demand service. Well, mind you, other companies just put it straight to YouTube. But, well, now we've... Actually, good segment, YouTube TV. You can watch it on there. You get a month free, by the way, if you live in New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, right? So, if you're in any of those cities, get this service, because you can watch Raw and SmackDown on there, and you can record it in the cloud, saves for 9 months, completely unlimited, and you can watch USA Network, obviously, and then you can record the episodes to watch later. So, that defeats the limit of the network, where, yeah, you have to pay $35 a month after that, but I think it's worth it in a way, because then you get other channels and the on-demand stuff as well. So, but that's if you want to cure yourself from the network drought if you're in the US. Not a 30-day network and you can't watch it on cable because you don't get USA Network or something. But
plus, they have a deal with Hulu where I'm pretty sure, like, whenever Raw and SmackDown go on, they're uploaded the day after, so that would kind of...
Yeah, so basically that's the reason. So it's both USA Network and Hulu, basically. So it's basically never going to happen. Never. Unless they break the deals with the network and Hulu. And I don't think they're going to do that because it earns them too much money.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate because I would love to see it on the network, especially live, because that is... Then it'd make it easier for, say, you or I to go on our, say, Apple TVs or Xboxes or PlayStations, go on there and watch Raw easy. Well, especially for us, Sky doesn't offer HD on their streaming service on the computer. They offer 720p HD on the Sky box, and you have to pay an extra £15 a month, $20 roughly, a month to get it in 4K if they eventually do it in 4K. So it's just too expensive just to watch it on Sky. That's why I say the YouTube TV offering will end up being cheaper if you're a wrestling fan, because you get USA Network in the default options for $35 a month in those 5 cities. Unfortunately, there is ways you can get it outside of the US, but I won't go into that. But that's how I get YouTube TV. But yes, and it rids me from them annoying Sky adverts. They're so annoying. WWE Supercard, sponsor Sky on WWE and stuff. Oh, just get me away from them immediately. So, but it is hard to watch Raw and SmackDown if you're watching it on a cable box. If you want to watch it on a tablet or a laptop or something. So.
See, plus having it on the network means no advertisements. That's why I watch pay-per-views on there all the time.
Oh, they still they will put more advertisements if it's on the network, or possibly even charge you, say $20. I think they charge the same price that YouTube TV does at $35 a month. Then they can include also indie shows like saying Evolve, ICW, Progress, OTT, you know, and then have Raw and SmackDown on top of that. That to me is worth, I'd say, $25. I think.
If they're feeling a little risque, they could do a no ad option for an extra fee. If they felt so generous, which I highly doubt they would ever do that, but still.
Mind you, they say almost no ads, don't they, now? Because it's only, well, if you're watching the on-demand stuff, say, it's only like one ad at the beginning, and then the rest is ad-free.
Yeah.
I don't know if legally they can say it's ad-free, but obviously on the live, if they can say on-demand, practically ad-free, and then, you know, but to make it all ad-free, then yeah, they'd jack the price right up, definitely.
Maybe worth it though. When you add all the stuff that we just talked about, I think jacking up the price would.
Yeah, it's warranted. It's warranted. But also, the amount of devices on is great. But can you please update the interface on the bloody PS4 version of the network? Because in my opinion, the Xbox version first was crap. Now it's one of the best versions out there because it's the fastest and it's the one that most works. The PS4 interface is crap. I noticed their standard interface because the PS4 interface looks exactly the same on my Samsung Smart TV downstairs. So just please update your software to make it look like the Xbox version on all platforms, please. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree. The mobile app is at least.
Oh yeah, the mobile app's terrible.
Yeah, I hate it.
Oh my God. The only saving grace it has, they've just added Chromecast support. I just use that now because it's faster to. Sorry.
That's great if you have Chromecast, but for somebody like me, it's
well, I know, but Chromecasts are very good value for money. Definitely, I in my opinion, it's the best way to stream YouTube and stuff. Obviously, because it's a Google product, but it's the best way to stream Google services, and sometimes Netflix does work better than PS4 and Xbox, and not Apple TV though. Apple TV beats every one of them, but that's just my humble opinion. Yeah, no, streaming on the network should have Raw and SmackDown, I think, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But I want it to happen.
There we go. So that's going to wrap it up for this podcast. I hope you ladies and gents did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to slam that like button below. If you are on YouTube, subscribe to make sure this podcast episode gets in your sub box. Don't forget to follow all of us on Twitter for the latest updates. Subscribe to Josh and Haydn on their YouTube channels. Links in the description as always. Don't forget to turn on notifications for all of our channels. Subscribe on iTunes if you haven't already. Leave us a 5-star rating. I've never asked for that before, so it's awfully nice to say that. Leave us a review, even if you're new, or if you're a long-time listener. I know that, I haven't asked for the numbers in a while, but I know that Pro Wrestling Weekly gets a good amount of downloads. So, for those of you that have been downloading it weekly, or bi-weekly, or
whatever you feel like it.
Yeah, it means a lot, and hearing those numbers, it's like, whoa, people actually care and listen to it on iTunes. So, for those of you that are making it easier on yourselves to listen to it on iTunes, thank you, appreciate it. This all started in 2014 with a dream, and we are 30 episodes in, and couldn't really imagine what it would be like compared to now, like in 2014. So it's pretty insane. So just know, from a kid that just wanted to do his own wrestling podcast with people that like wrestling, this by far exceeded my expectations. So thank you, listeners, homies, homettes, guests of the Wolfpack. I will see you guys. Well, we will see you, guys and gals, in the next episode of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Peace.